Hello everyone, this is Dhaval Desai. Today I'm recording this video on cloud computing, technology and myth. So cloud computing is around for so many years now. But in this video we are mainly focusing on what are the advantages of cloud computing, what are the myths the organization still thinks about cloud computing, who should be using the cloud services, how the proper implementation of the cloud services are really important and cost saving for the organization, and also what are the different cloud computing services provided by different cloud providers which can help you to save cost savings and easy onboarding for the startups and mid-scale organization. And finally we'll see one example which will give you an idea about how we are moving from infrastructure all the way to the software as a service in the cloud. So before we get started, just to provide a quick introduction on our organization, uh, we are the healthcare IT consulting firm specialized in healthcare interoperability solutions like clinical data exchange, healthcare compliance, and custom healthcare IT solution design and development. We are in the industry for 16 plus years. We help organizations to build the cloud-based health IT applications and interoperability solutions. We built and delivered many successful projects for the healthcare industry. This is myself, founder of Arihant Healthcare Technology. I have 16 plus years of experience in this, worked as a solution architect, cloud architect, and software engineer, delivered many successful projects. HL7 organization member, worked on various interoperability standards, HL7 Fire, and clinical data exchange format like HL7 Fire and CCDA. Worked on interoperability or interface engines like Mirth Connect, Rhapsody, Connectar, Integration Buddy, etc. So let's get started with the cloud computing. There is nothing called cloud computing. The first thing we have to understand, what is the cloud computing? It's nothing but someone else's computer and data center which we are sharing and paying the rent for. So what cloud computing provider did, basically they did denormalized of all the services. So if you have in-house or on-prem data center, you have to worry about data server, data stack, database racks, maintenance, networking, outages, power supply, patches, upgrades, and then on the top of it regular maintenance and changes. And each and every hardware have a maximum shelf life of 3 to 4 years. So every 4 years you're gonna change your hardware and you go through all these processes again. And this is where the cloud computing or cloud services provider come into picture, where they are taking some of these responsibilities in their hand, and they are providing a streamlined experience or services to the cloud consumer, where you don't have to worry about some of these maintenance and you only focus on your business. Mainly when you are not from technology company and when you're not from technology industry, it's very hard to maintain each and everything for you, like servers, computers, maintenance, patches, upgrades, and still you have to focus on your business. This is basically like olden time. We used to go to internet cafes and we pay for the internet services by hourly or daily basis to use that internet service. Similar concept, basically, on all the on-prem services, cloud provider denormalized those services, and they are providing these services on their infrastructure. And whoever the consumer is, cloud consumer, they have to rent those services. What enterprise thinks about, uh, or what enterprise is really worried about when they are moving to the cloud, or basically even in for the on-prem, service availability. Service availability is most important for any organization, especially for the mid-scale to large-scale organization where their downtime is extremely important and it can lose millions and billions of dollars for them. Unpredictable user growth, multi data center management. Multi data center management is usually in the cloud. when you have a business across multiple continent or across multiple countries, and where you have to manage huge amount of user uh, data across the different availability zones, different regions. That's when you have to spin up your instances in multiple regions, and multi-data center management comes into picture. Provisioning latency, elasticity, and redundancy is on the same node where a cloud provider provides the SLA, and most of the cloud provider provides their SLA, SLI, and elasticity and redundancy for their services. Infrastructure storage, refresh. So when you have your own on-prem infrastructure, you have to take care of infrastructure storage, refresh, upgrade, patches, and it is really a big headache sometime. And you, if it is not done on time, you will face unavailability of the services, like, so that indirectly applies to your service availability. Lock-in period on the cloud is one of the important characteristic or factor while considering the cloud provider. Whether you go ahead, I mean, there are many cloud providers in the market, but what are their lock-in period? What is your use case? To understand your use case for spinning up the cloud, whether it's AWS, GCP, Azure, Alibaba, Oracle, IBM Bluemix, any cloud provider you go, at the cloud services you take, there might be some lock-in periods are there to get your services pinned up with them. And those services, either if either you have lock-in period for a certain amount of time, or if you don't have lock-in period, you're completely out of the lock-in period based on your the services you're using. Confidentiality, compliance, audit trail, and licensing fees are another factor when you are considering the cloud provider versus your on-prem services. Audit trail is very important thing when you have on-prem infrastructure. Building the audit trail for each and every access, each and every usage of your resources is very difficult. But while using these cloud services, these audit trail are not only built for one customer use, it was actually the whole application or tools are created for everyone who are a consumer or client for that cloud. And obviously licensing fee and compliance is another thing, where if you are carrying the licenses your own, you have to pay a huge amount of fee. But if you are carrying the licenses as a cloud service provider, and then your consumer are using those licenses, that is a completely different use case. So what are the experts says about cloud computing? Cloud computing is nothing but pool of abstracted, highly scalable and managed compute infrastructure capable of hosting an end customer application and built by the consumption. So this is definition is not by me. This is something you can find it on the internet. It's provided by famous companies like Gartner, Forrester. Uh, there is another definition provided by Gartner. It says style of computing in which massively scalable information technology related capabilities are provided as a service using internet technologies to multiply external customers. Okay, let's jump into the myth about cloud computing. What do you think? How the cloud computing resources can be used and how it is beneficial for the organization? What is the first myth about cloud computing? Is all you just need is a credit card. That is quite right, but that is not completely right. You can use a credit card, but that's not the only thing you need. You need a right expertise to spin up the services for your organization. So that's the very first myth. All you need is your credit card. That's not completely true. There is only one cloud. Okay, so there is not only one cloud, and that's actually a really good to break the monopoly. We have a multiple cloud providers in the market, and it's obviously growing day by day. There are so many cloud providers like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Azure, Microsoft Azure, Alibaba, Oracle Cloud, IBM Bluemix, and there are so more. If you see here the Gartner report, you will see the exactly which cloud is performing how. You will see in that report. The cloud always saves you money. Okay, so this is not true. Obviously, cloud will save you money if it is correctly configured for your need by the expert on your organization. Sometimes, if it is not correctly configured or the services are running unnecessarily, it can cost you more than your on-prem infrastructure. So this statement is not true completely, but yeah, this can be true if we can configure their services correctly. The next one is integration myth. You won't ever able to seamlessly blend your public and private cloud. That's not true. Nowadays, now the cloud in the market for more than 15 years, cloud services, whether it's a private cloud, it's a public cloud, you can seamlessly integrate them and you can use uh, you can use your data from not even from public to private cloud. Also, you can integrate from your on-prem to the public cloud or on-prem to the private cloud. It just you have to think about the proper integration technique which suits your organization. Whether you have a healthcare, you need additional security, compliance, whether you have a financial organization where the security is most important for you, and uh, how you're transferring the data from one location to another, how your services are exposed. So a lot of things matters when you are spinning up the services on the cloud. But integration is another myth, uh, where it says you can seamlessly blend your private cloud, your virtualized data center with the public provider. And this statement is actually true. But again, virtualization is not the only thing you do. There are so many other things with the cloud which you have to take care when you are seamlessly blend your private cloud and public cloud provider. The cloud always reduces your workload. So this is another myth. It is not always reducing your workload, but yes, if you configure a smart way and bring the automation into picture, like using a simple CI/CD pipeline, Maven scripts, you can deploy to the cloud. You create the containers. You can migrate the container from one location to another. You can configure the auto scaling or upscale and downscale configuration on the auto scaling. That way you can definitely reduce the workload, but this requires again a smart configuration and the expertise. A cloud provider can guarantee of security. Okay, so that is really a myth. Nobody able to guarantee 100% security. Even we cannot guarantee 100% security of our own house. When you're going outside the house and you feel, oh, your house is 100% secured. That's not the case. So, with proper implementation of security protocols and certain firewall rules, you can secure your infrastructure, but nobody guarantees the 100% security. It's obviously based on the organization, based on the regular auditing, the regular maintenance, and uh, a lot of time the organization uh, have to outsource these resources to the experts where they can obviously take care of the security on regular basis. Virtualization is not a cloud computing. So virtualization of everything is not a cloud computing. What are the things we are virtualizing and how we are virtualizing, and those virtualization, how we are putting into the right place on the cloud, that is we kind of consider as a cloud computing. Cloud computing is all about technology. Yes, cloud computing is all about technology, but not in that sense. It is a lot more than a technology where uh, uh, you are basically outsourcing or relying on the services where the cloud provider will take care of your infrastructure, your platform, and many times your services as well, and provide you a seamless integration. For example, when you're using a Gmail, your regular email account, what is happening behind the scene? Where your Gmail database is stored, where the servers are spinning up, how the security is taken care, how the authentication has been taken care. So there are lot many things going on behind the scene when it provides us as a software as a service to end users. So I would say cloud computing is not only about the technology, there is a lot of things behind it. Common services model used in cloud computing is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Obviously, the most basic one where we start with the computing power, networking, storage, data storage, uh, different servers, all comes under infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service, where the infrastructure is already taken care, and the next level when you move to the platform as a service, where it's abstracting your uh, operating system and provide a seamless integration for your platform. So basically, as a developer, you are writing the code in different programming languages. What cloud provider says, you can deploy the code, whether it's Java, whether it's Node.js, Ruby, different languages you use, and we provide you a platform as a service to deploy your code, to manage your code, and to run your code successfully. That's come under platform as a service. And software as a service, where anything and everything you do in cloud infrastructure, whether it's infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and at the end, when the end consumers you have to provide is a software as a service. As I provided the example earlier, a Gmail account, or simple the e-commerce website, where customer is only uh, customer is only visiting your website is for the shopping or buying something from your website. But what is the exact thing going on behind the website? It's completely under IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. This is a traditional example of pizza service, which is, and this example actually I found it from the internet, and this will explain you very well what how you compare your cloud providing services and your on-prem infrastructure. So basically, a traditional on-prem service or on-prem infrastructure consider as a homemade pizza, where you have to take care of cheese, toppings, tomato, pizza dough, fire, oven, electricity, gas, dining table, everything by yourself, and you have to do and manage it yourself. But when you consider as a infrastructure as a service, some of the responsibilities goes to the vendor, or I would say cloud provider, where they take care of the initial things and the remaining thing you have to worry about. So basically, they provide a cheese, toppings, tomato sauce, pizza dough, and you have to take care of fire, oven, electric gas, soda, and dining table. Again, you move to the next step, where the platform as a service, you take care of not only IaaS but some additional things. So in the platform as a service, your responsibility reduces, and you obviously you pay certain fees for it, but the cloud provider is giving you more, and you have to just worry about, in case of pizza, soda, and dining table, and then rest of the things are already available from the vendor. And finally, a software as a service, where you dined out. You basically restaurants take care of everything for you, and you just go and eat outside. So that's a very traditional example, and this is obviously available on the internet. This is a pizza as a service 2.0, where nowadays, along with IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, there are two more services added called container as a service and function as a service. Container as a service lies in between IaaS and PaaS. So, sorry. So basically, what it says is, instead of communal kitchen, bring your own. So container as a service, it's very popular nowadays because it abstracts your hardware layer. And in l- previous times, your code are very attached with your hardware or certain machines, and it cannot run the same code on the different machines or different providers. So what container as a service is doing is, it's abstracting your hardware, It's collecting all your dependency libraries inside the container. So you basically create a one container wrapper which you can run on any machine as long as you have that container and dependencies inside it. So that's a container as a service, platform as a service, and the function as a service is nothing but is your restaurant where uh, you go and you eat everything. You just have to go with your friends and have a conversation. So, in terms of the cloud provider or the actual enterprise, how they see it, these services. So, on-prem infrastructure or on-prem services, you, as I mentioned earlier, you have to take care of everything: networking, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system management, middleware generation, middleware creation, runtime systems, data, and application deployment and application maintenance. So there is a lot more. And apart from this, as I mentioned, the shelf life or the usage of the servers and hardwares are usually 3 to 4 years. And after 3 to 4 years, you have to either replace it, you have to upgrade it, you have to add patching, or some kind of maintenance you have to take care. In the infrastructure as a service, the cloud providers are taken care about networking, storage, servers, and virtualization. And you only have to worry about the operating systems you want to use, middleware you want to deploy on that OS, runtime, data, and the application. Once you go one level up, a platform as a service, again, it takes care, the cloud provider takes care of a lot more this time: networking, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system, middleware, and runtime for you. And you have to only manage the data and the application. But when you go as a software as a service, as I mentioned, it's nothing but you order something and everything restaurant takes care of it, and you just uh, eat there, or you using the e-commerce website where you don't have to worry about anything. You just use the e-commerce website to order your product. Similar thing here, as software as a service, everything is taken care by SaaS model, and you can completely use a SaaS model and you can build your solution around it. What is the role of cloud computing in the healthcare? Obviously, it's a cost savings. When initially the cloud computing or cloud provider came with the services, a lot of healthcare organizations are very hesitant to move on the cloud because of the clinical data or personal PAI and PHI information. But now, many cloud providers, like many larger cloud providers, AWS, GCP, and Azure, and there might be more, are already onboarded with all the compliance, security, HIPAA, high tech, and SOC 2. So when you're moving, they are already taking care of your data. The only thing you have to plan about is how you're migrating, how you're storing the information, how you're architecting your whole system. It's obviously provide you a cost saving, flexibility, scalability, and improved security. So now a lot of healthcare organizations are already moved on the time on cloud. Even now, the new electronic health record systems, EHR systems, EMR systems are cloud based. That gives l- huge cost saving to them, and also easily they can expand their customers by auto scaling their systems and deploying into different regions. Practice management systems, billing and claim systems. When they are integrating with the systems, most of the systems are cloud based, and that's where our organization comes into picture. We help a small scale and mid-size organization to design their system. We design a cloud-based system, cloud native systems, or a hybrid system for them. We also help them to update their existing infrastructure, update their database, also help them to integrate with a different EHR, EMR. We are specialized in interoperability. We work on HL7, FHIR, CCDA, format data. We work on integration engines. We help you to integrate from one format to another format. We help whether you have a EHR company or you have a billing company, claim company, or revenue cycle management company, or even the RCM companies. We help you to integrate with the different healthcare endpoints. We provide you a HIPAA compliant solution, so you don't violate any laws, rules, or regulation. If you want more details, please feel free to contact us on our website, or you can also send us an email, and we'll definitely. Thank you. Thank you for watching this.